So, Brad, we're on our final conference of the day. The conference was Sony's.
Yes, and thank God that it's not 11:30 at night again.
I know. So I just tell me what you thought about the Sony conference overall.
Best conference at E3 so far. I think it
This
it
conference in E3 at all, then this is the last conference.
yes. I then well, if you want to call whatever Nintendo's doing a conference, which I really don't, but yeah, I honestly think it was the best one. Just it
Yep.
had everything that Microsoft did, and they didn't have any annoying dudes in jumpsuits. So really, there's nothing more that I wanted.
Plus, it's a rare thing that every single game that they showed appealed to me, except for Infinite Warfare. But then that was immediately saved by Modern Warfare Remastered.
Um, I don't think every game appealed to me, but most of them did. Almost all of them did. If I wish I knew
So
more about Kojima's, because right now I don't know anything about it, so I can't say if I'm for it, against it. I don't know.
anything you can put anything with Hideo Kojima's name on it, and I'll be interested in it. But let's start running through what they talked about in the conference. So the conference started off with like 25 minutes of an orchestra going on,
It wasn't that
which
long.
no, it wasn't that long, but it felt very long because it felt like it wasn't going to have a point until it built up to having a point,
And then I called it God of War.
and then you called it God of War, which I'm going to start calling Old Man Kratos.
Yeah, he's like living in New Hampshire now. He's got a beard.
He's got like a kid, which I'm very confused because he talks to the kid as if he's watching over him, but then the kid keeps calling him dad.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that he's a stepfather, adopted the kid. Maybe he knew his mother. Maybe it actually is his son. I have no idea. Dude's got a beard. Everything's changed. It's
Yeah,
Norse mythology now instead of Greek.
he's not yelling at everything. He doesn't walk into a room and go, Calliope!
Yeah, he only yelled
Which is,
once, and it looked like he kind of got mad at himself for doing it. So he kind of like calmed down. Like,
yeah, did you notice his rage meter started to build up and then he
yeah,
was like, it's okay. What did you think of the demo they showed? I thought it was really cool looking.
yeah. I'm happy. I love Norse mythology. I think it's awesome. It's where a lot of Skyrim gets its influence. Great game. So I'm expecting a lot from this God of War.
I've always liked the God of War games. You know, I've never really had a problem with them. I thought the last couple, what was it? It was like Ascension and then even 3 to an extent, like, I felt like they were just getting a little samey. And so I like that this God of War is kind of going in a bold new direction with it, you know, kind of changing it up. And it's just called God of War now. So
Yes.
it looks like they're going with like a reboot of sorts.
And might I say, the man who ran the orchestra for that has a goatee that puts mine to shame.
Bear McCreary, good composer, did the score to 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Fantastic hair too.
Great hair. Um, then they showed off Sony Ben's new game, Days Gone, but we'll talk more about that later on. All they did was show a trailer here, but we have more substantial things to talk about with that later on. Um, then they moved on into The Last Guardian. They showed a new trailer for that and announced a release date finally of October 25th, 2016.
And I had only remembered this from the previous E3, but I guess it's been at the last few E3s.
Well, it wasn't at the last few. What happened was is like I want to say it was like right when the PS3 came out, or it might have been the year after, and they announced this game, and it was supposed to come out forever ago, and then it just never did, and now it's resurfaced as a PS4 game. So it's been in development for a while, so I guess it remains to be seen if that's going to be good or not. You
I
know what I
don't
mean?
know. I sorta kinda like the art style. I'm not totally sold on it yet, but we'll see.
It looks like a watercolor painting, kind of.
His face sort of threw me off because it doesn't have any lines.
Yeah,
Like it
it's weird.
just
His face, he looks like he has no detail at all in him, but like the environments and the bird dog thing look like they have a lot of
yeah.
like a lot of detail in
I
them.
feel like the artists spent all their time drawing like the monsters in the environment and went, shit, we have a kid in the game too.
But I've never really been into Team Eco games. Like the only one I've ever really liked, even though there's only like two of them, has been Shadow of the Colossus. But like, I mean, I don't know. I'm cautiously looking out for it. Let's say, I guess. Then they showed Horizon Zero Dawn. They showed an extended gameplay demo of this, and I think this game looks fantastic.
I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is Tomb Raider meets like Far Cry meets like apocalyptic Metal Gear. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, it looks just so cool. The world design to me is just awesome. And the fact that they have like I keep forgetting that it's supposed to be like off in the future because like they have like cave people. So I'm like, oh, why does she have like a bow staff that can hack? Like,
Hack the
uh,
robots.
yeah. But yeah, this game looks beautiful. It looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait for it to come out in February.
Check out the gameplay trailer if you haven't seen it. It looks fantastic, both graphically and I mean, she's a redhead, so I'm in.
Exactly. Exactly. Then they showed kind of a trailer, kind of a gameplay thing because it's made by Quantic Dream, so that'll be pretty much what the game is for Detroit,
Yes.
Become Human. And I thought this trailer was actually really cool. Like it set up like a really cool world that they're in.
This trailer threw me for a freaking loop. Cause like it starts with him going up the elevator, right? And I'm like, oh, he's just a normal dude. And then his head starts like his temple starts spinning, and I'm like, oh, he's
Hmm.
buffering, okay. And I guess I was right because he's like an android, but I don't know. It's a very morally heavy game from just what we saw in
Yeah.
that trailer. Like the differences between like what makes a person a person. Are these androids really people? Blah 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 blah. It's it has some heavy stuff, but it looks cool.
Seems like it has a lot of choice in it too, and I like that a lot. Like there's a lot of different outcomes that can happen just from that one scenario they showed us.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how many outcomes there actually are in the game and like
Mm.
how different these actions play out cuz in video game design we have this thing called the illusion of choice, right? Where it feels like you could be making all these different decisions, but in reality you're not really changing anything. So I'm
Mm.
curious to see how much is actually changing with these decisions.
My one thing that I would maybe say kind of scares me with that sort of illusion of decision is that it seems like every outcome had the android dying.
Yes, that's what I
Th-
mean by illusion of choice, right? It feels like you're getting from instead of going A to B, you're going to C, or oh, you're being cheeky, you're going to F, but in reality, everybody's going to G because the dude's dying.
Right. I mean, one definitely, there are like a couple that definitely save the little girl, and one definitely kills her. So I guess maybe
Maybe
that's,
that has repercussions.
yeah, who knows. Then they showed something that threw everyone for a freaking loop that I did not expect at all was Resident Evil 7. This is apparently coming out on my birthday, January 24th, 2017, and will be fully playable in PlayStation VR. So something tells me this game is going to be first person, which is interesting for the Resident Evil series.
Yeah, it's definitely more horror-y focused than some of the other
Mm,
Resident Evil entries have been, which I guess is a good thing. And hold on a second, can we talk about that Detroit Become Human again thing? I didn't realize
yeah,
that was the same game that was from the other thing with the girl.
yeah.
I didn't realize that was the same game. I thought that was something totally different.
That is. I was very confused at the end because I thought the girl was the main character in the game, but
Yeah, because I just
maybe it's
googled I just googled it to show it to throw it up on stream, and no, it's the same thing.
maybe maybe there's multiple different characters,
Maybe. I mean, her
different
forehead
androids.
has that little buffer thing too, so I don't know.
Yeah, she's an android.
She's a
Um,
robot.
but what did you think of Resident Evil 7?
I've never been big on the Resident Evil franchise. I've dabbled in it. I had a couple of the PlayStation 2 ones.
Mm.
But I mean, I'll check it out. Our instructor, one of our professors at class, is a very big Resident Evil fan. So I'm sure even if I don't pick it up, I'm gonna be hearing about this for the next few, you know, next few months.
The fact that it's uh, fully playable in VR is very interesting to me, and the fact that the demo is out right now too. So I'm very curious to go try that out. It's available now on PlayStation for PlayStation Plus members. So yeah, if you have that, then you should go try it. But speaking of VR, they went on a whole tear about VR after this.
Yeah, they were just like game, 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 go, go, go.
I say a tear, but it was like 5 games they showed. So the first VR game they showed was this game Farpoint, which looks like you're like a soldier on a different planet, and you're just walking around fighting weird like space moths with lasers.
Yeah, it's kind of funky. I mean, we didn't really see too much about what this game was about. In fact, just Googling it, I'm only getting one picture for it. Maybe, no, two, never mind. So, like, that's really all we know is that you are on this planet, you're talking to some other people over the radio, your gun has a cool scope, and there were these, like, weird mosquito things that really freaked your guy out.
That is something that I want to talk about that I thought was really cool is the fact that you can tell this is like a game that's played with the move controllers.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that you when you moved up the gun into your line of sight, you could see the scope. I
Yeah.
liked that a lot. And
That,
that
yeah.
seems to me what the future of VR is going to be is taking experiences that you're used to from other games, like a first person shooter, and making it like a fully interactive experience sort of thing.
Yeah, and hats off to these guys, right? Because almost everybody in the VR space, when it comes to shooting, does the double pistols, right? Because it's easy. You have two controllers, two pistols. Boop, boop, boop,
It's
boop,
easy
boop.
and it makes you kind of look like a badass when you
Yeah,
do it.
exactly. It's a win-win. But these guys went and, no, we're going to do something different. We're going to have a rifle. And good on them.
I feel like it might end up being sort of best with that PlayStation Move gun controller thing they used to have.
Someone get me that thing that was on the Wii. That weird, like, little...
The Zapper.
Yes, get me that.
You could play Link's crossbow training after. Then they showed what is their Battlefront VR thing, which is the X-Wing VR mission. Now, this, from what I saw, I don't know if it's just because this was a trailer showing it off, it did not seem very interactive. It seemed
Uh,
very much like a VR experience in a way.
yeah, it was very experiency.
But you got to
Um,
assume that given the name VR mission, that there's something going on there.
yeah, I mean, maybe at some point you'll shoot something. I don't know how much freedom you're gonna have in the X-wing because if you can't, there's no way they're gonna let you just fly, right? Because you'll be spinning around like crazy and you'll puke. So they gotta
Right.
kind of control how you're gonna be able to fly this thing, or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just say, you know what, you do you, and if you puke, you puke. I mean, it'd be pretty ballsy to do that, but
I'd respect it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'd heard about Battlefront getting a VR separate entry type thing, and now we know what it is.
Mm. I like what they chose to do with it. I think they really missed an opportunity by not making it the Death Star run.
Nah, I
That would have been
can't do
something.
the Death Star in the first one. If this one's successful, then they have more pull with the second one, and it'll be DLC.
I'd play the hell out of that though.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Then something that really surprised me, and I have no clue what the hell this is going to be. Batman Arkham VR.
Yeah. If you're noticing a common theme here, it's that PlayStation really just kind of confused everybody throughout the entirety of their conference, but in a good way.
Yeah. Like this is a good confuse. Like I like being confused about what I think games are going to be than just being like, I know exactly what this is going to be. It's boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for the first
Uh,
time, I can show you guys the entirety of what we saw at E3 on screen right now. Ready? It's that cowl right there. That's all we saw while Joker was just talking in a very creepy voice.
Monologuing.
Yes.
It was Mark Hamill though, so that's good.
Yes, he was the Joker.
He is the Joker.
Yes.
Also, too, something to point out. I don't know if you have a picture there on screen. The new DC logo I like a lot. A lot better than the old DC logo.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the new DC logo. Nope, I don't have it on screen. New DC logo. Nope. There we go. I'll put up a whole panorama of DC logos from 1940 to 2012.
Oh, well, I don't know if that 2012 one is no, because it's brand new. They
Oh.
just introduced it recently.
I'm not
But
seeing it here, but
whatever. That's not the point. I'm very confused at what this is going to be. I hope he doesn't spin around like a ballerina like he does in the regular game and make me want to throw up.
yeah, because, I mean, everybody will puke. Nobody
Um,
wants vomit on their heads-up displays.
Exactly. Then they showed another Final Fantasy 15 trailer and then announced the Final Fantasy 15 VR experience, which looks to be a first-person kind of light gun shooting game with a teleporting mechanic.
Well, yeah, that's how everybody does movement in VR now, because you can't walk, right? And so if you're using the touch controllers, they use teleportation. They do this in Minecraft. They do it in there's another thing escaping my memory right now, but it's not a new thing, and it's very smart of them to do this way because the warping mechanic is already in the game, so it fits within lore.
Right.
So I just anybody who saw that, like the Final Fantasy 15 VR thing, do not expect it to play like Final Fantasy 15 because it's not.
No, it's just gonna be like a House of the Dead style, like
Yeah.
arcade shooter. And then they announced at the end that you can play as someone named Prompto, who I assume is that girl who's not wearing a lot, because it was right after they showed her.
I believe that was probably her. What was it prom prompto?
Prompto.
Yep, I'm looking at her, and she looks kind of freaky in these pictures. Oh wait, this isn't even a she. Is this the right girl? No, this is the guy.
Oh, then
Yeah, I googled Prompto, and that blonde dude showed up. So I guess that's him. No, I don't
maybe
know.
he is.
I don't know who the girl is then.
I don't know why they showed her then, and then it was like play as Prompto in VR. So
No idea.
I have no
Maybe.
clue.
Oh, you. She was talking to Prompto as you.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Do you have anything to say about that? What'd you think about that? That looks
I'm.
cool.
I mean, yeah. I love Final Fantasy as a franchise, so I'm excited.
I that the trailer they showed before that, which has nothing to do with VR, I really kind of piqued my interest more than the other trailers they've been showing for that game. Seems a lot more action packed than I expected.
Yeah, this one was. I honestly just better editing in this trailer. Is I think what it came down to. It felt much more just upbeat. It felt much more like action packed, like like you were watching a gameplay session, but like the highlight reel of gameplay session, and that's the way editing should be done. So,
And of course, it had dubstep over it, so that infinitely makes any game's trailer better.
of course,
Then we moved on to an extended gameplay demo of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and it came right after the VR thing, and they didn't announce like an end to the VR session. So I, for some reason, was like, is Call of Duty going to be in VR on PlayStation? Which would have been really interesting to me if that happened. But no, it's not. And so they just showed off a mission. They're going full sci-fi with this,
yep,
and I guess props to them for not like half-assing their sci-fi this time, where it has been the last couple games, like with Black Ops and Advanced Warfare, they were sci-fi, but they weren't like full sci-fi. Like this one just it's going a little crazy. I'm not into it. Brad's not into it.
you know what? But hats off to them. It'll be like the last few Call of Duties. It'll be fun. People will enjoy it, and I think we for once can stop hating on Call of Duty and just let them do what they want to do. You know what? Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's going to be a bad game. But
Plus,
this right here, what's on screen, this is why everybody's buying it. Jacob,
uh,
you want to take a guess what's on screen right now?
I know it's on screen, but wait a second, because I was gonna say something. I'll probably still end up playing Infinite Warfare, even though it's not my thing, because of Modern Warfare Remastered.
Yes, this beautiful campaign and 10 multiplayer maps with their separate matchmaking and God, I wish I didn't
They
have to buy Infinite Warfare for you.
they opened up that trailer with all gillied up, and I was like, oh, the memories.
Yep.
Um, this looked fan freaking tastic.
Yes,
That's how you do a remastered game.
and it's in my opinion probably the perfect length of time for a remaster. The game was came out a long time ago. It doesn't look as good as it used to. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look as good as it used to, but this new version does look very, very good.
Came out in '07, so it's almost like 10 years.
Yeah, and I think that's fine for a remaster. We're going on the next generation. You know what? You can play Call of Duty for Modern Warfare Remastered on your Xbox Slim, and then you're truly living in the future.
Exactly. Or you could just wait for your Project Scorpio, and then you'll really be in the future.
Yeah, and pay the whatever they're going to charge for that. But
I assume. I don't know. Not the time and the place.
I'm I'm happy for this remake. But
Yes, it looks very pretty. Then, speaking of remasters, we got the announcement that they are doing four, not four, they're doing the first three Crash games, Crash 1, Crash 2, and Crash Warped. And they're remastering them all from the ground up for PlayStation 4. And they also announced that Crash Bandicoot will be added into Skylanders.
yeah, and screw you, Sony, because you pulled a bait and switch on us when, oh yeah, we're remastering the three Crash Bandicoots, and then, oh, he's coming to Skylanders, let's just play that trailer.
That's true. Yeah, there was no trailer for the Crash thing, but you don't know. That could be a deal that got reached, more recently, so work hasn't really started on it yet. But the Skylanders trailer didn't look terrible. I mean, Skylanders is not my thing. I'm not like a 5-year-old kid, so I probably won't end up playing it. But that new Skylanders confused the hell out of me because the trailer showed a drawing of a Skylander and then it was in the game and they were like, you can create your own Skylander. And I was like, is this implying that I can draw my own Skylander?
No, it was just sort of a metaphor for, being creative. It wasn't like you can't actually draw your own Skylander.
I that I don't know, that confused me. I don't like that. I don't like being confused. What do you do you care about this Crash Bandicoot news? Do you like Crash Bandicoot?
Not really. Wasn't my thing. I was a Banjo-Kazooie kid.
Ugh, get out of here, you Nintendo freak.
What are you gonna do?
Sony for life. These colors don't run. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited about the remasters. I could give a shit less about Skylanders. Then they showed a extended trailer for Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and I think it looks great. I love the Lego games. Um,
Very
so
extended trailer.
yeah, very extended. If you hadn't seen the movie, I feel bad for you because you're the one person in the world who hasn't seen it, and you just got the whole thing spoiled for you. Um, by Legos. But I think it looks really good. I've seen other videos where they show what the actual gameplay is for this, and they've changed up a lot of the Lego gameplay that's usually around. So
And it's out very, very soon.
2 weeks.
Yep, June 28th.
We had the release date announced a long time ago, but the demo is available now on, I'm gonna assume, on PlayStation. I'm not sure about Xbox. So then we had Kojima come out on stage with a big entrance. And he showed his new game. I forgot to write down the title. What was the title of the game?
The title was called Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. It had Norman Reedus of The Walking Dead fame, and he was going to be in Silent Hills. So you can tell him and Kojima must be friends or something. Um, and I had no clue what was going on in this trailer. There was a naked man. He picked up a baby at one point, and then there was a bunch of dead whales.
Yeah, and like people were invisible, and the baby turned invisible, and there was like oil in the sand or something. I don't know.
I, I mean, like I said, put Hideo Kojima's name on it. I'm instantly interested, and I want to hear more of what this game is. This trailer left me incredibly confused, though, but it's got that Kojima charm to it, and I kind of love it.
You know what, Kojima? I'm not gonna pretend I understand what the hell you're doing. Just make a game, and when it's done, then I'll lay judgment. But until then, I have no idea what the hell you're up to.
Then we moved on to what I think is the best announcement of the night, and probably got me the most psyched when it started. Insomniac Games, makers of Ratchet and Clank, Sunset Overdrive, and I think they made something else. I'm not sure though. They made Resistance. They're making a Spider-Man game that's going to be exclusive to PlayStation 4. Doesn't seem to be based around Spider-Man Homecoming like I thought it might be. Seems to be its own thing because the Spider-Man suit's different. You said you knew who the voice actor was?
Yuri Lowenthal, otherwise known as the voice of Sasuke Uchiha.
Don't know what that is or who that is. But
One of my favorite voice actors is why I know who that is.
But I think the game looks fantastic. There seems to be some gameplay stuff in the middle of that trailer, at least with the swinging, and I thought the swinging looked great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy. I think Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, so I can't complain. I mean,
Insomniac's a great developer. It's good to see Marvel finally getting good people to work on these games.
yeah, Insomniac's a great developer. I mean, I love Yuri Lowenthal and just about anything he does, so yeah, I mean, literally everything says I should love this game.
Yeah, and it's going to take full advantage of the power of the PS4.
Yes.
And then they ended out the show with, like I said, we were going to talk about more later, with an extended demo of Days Gone.
Yes.
This game looked very interesting to me. Number one, it's made by Ben Studios, the people who made Cypher Filton, if you remember that. Is it Cypher? Yeah. No, Siphon Filter, from back in the back on the PS2 generation, and they made the Vita version of Uncharted, and I think this game looks really interesting. It's like a post-apocalyptic zombie game where you're a biker. and I don't know. It looks really nice graphically, I think, and I think that it could be interesting. I want to see more of it though. This demo didn't really explain to me what I'll be doing in the game, whether it's even like a if it's open world or if it's just a story driven game.
It
I have no
seems to
clue.
be, if I had to guess, probably just story driven. I'm not terribly excited for this game simply because I don't like the mowing down the horde style of zombies. Like I can deal with it to a degree. Like I don't mind Left 4 Dead all the time. Left 4 Dead's okay. Dead Rising is another one that's a very big mow down the horde type of deal, and I just don't like that kind of zombie game. Like this one is a huge offender of it. Like it doesn't matter where you shoot this thing, you shoot a zombie once and it dies. You could shoot it in the foot for all this game cares, because there are literally thousands of these things chasing you. So
Yeah, I thought it was the most insane part of it was the part where the train car opens and they just start pouring out of it.
yeah, I actually have
Like
that
it
up on
was
screen right now.
insane.
So this right
Yeah,
here is the.
the
Oop,
way they were just
keep going.
what
I clicked something I shouldn't have clicked. Keep going.
what did you click?
I clicked the article. Nope, it's playing. Stop playing. Oops. Okay,
Oh
continue.
jeez. Um all I was gonna say was that it was really like it was just mowing them down and I like that kind of zombie game in a sense, right? Like I like Dead Rising mainly just because it's like it's stupid fun, you know what I mean? You go into a mall and you can beat up zombies with like a teddy bear, you know what I mean? Like that's funny to me. With this game, it seems to be a really serious thing, and I just think juxtaposed with this, there's a gigantic horde of zombies behind you. It doesn't work, right? If this was more like a Last of Us type thing, where there's like, you know, a couple zombies to an area, then maybe um, it'd be more fitting to me. As it is now, I'm interested in what this game is and what kind of game it is because all we really saw was that it's a third person action game where you shoot zombies and we already have a lot of those.
Yeah. So I don't know. The story, the world they set up is, it's interesting enough to me. The gameplay mechanics, no, thank you. So
Mhm.
not my kind of game. I'll give it a pass.
Is anything your kind of game? Because I feel like you've said that about like every game at E3
Yeah, I mean,
today.
I liked a lot of the games that they presented today, other than like Skylanders and this and whatever the hell it was that Kojima. I can't even call that a game yet. So
I'm not even just talking about Sony. I feel like at every single conference, you've just been like, not my kind of game. Not
well,
interested in it.
I
Like
mean,
some things, I don't know. It's just I'm just saying what I've noticed. I don't know.
I
I
have
don't know
a
about you, Brad.
some games I don't deny that they're great games. I just don't enjoy them. So if you like mowing down zombie hordes, then definitely check out the gameplay footage of Days Gone because I think it's definitely gonna be right up your alley.
Let's finish out with a letter grade and what you thought of the conference overall.
I'm gonna go with a solid A. I think they did a really good job. They were on point. They game, talk, talk, talk. We saw gameplay footage for almost every single game. Just about every game looked really good. Little points knocked off for the bait and switch you pulled with not Banjo Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot. Didn't appreciate that. But other than that, I think it was the best conference at E3.
I think I'm gonna also give it an A. I thought it was also the best conference at E3. I was pretty much into everything they showed besides Infinite Warfare, but we've already talked about why we're not into that. Um, I thought it could have used more VR talk. The VR stuff they announced was cool, but I think this game's almost coming out. Like I kind of wanted like just kind of like my confirmed list of games, show me a montage
Yeah,
of
we
what,
just
what
got another 50 games announced. Well, we already knew that.
yeah, like how they did the ID at Xbox montage
hmm
at the Microsoft thing. If they did like a VR sort of montage, like here are the 50 games that are coming on day one, that would have been a lot more interesting to me than here are these cool new announcements, and they were cool. Don't get me wrong, it got me excited, but I'd like to know more.
That list is floating around out there. I know because I've seen it. But the fact that I have to dig for it is kind of annoying. Like this is your conference, Sony. You probably should have shown something for
This is
VR.
the one. This is the one where you have the mainstream press here,
Yeah,
who can go out and explain why this is a cool thing and why people should be excited for it.
yeah, you have the audience's attention at this point. But, whatever. Beggars can't be choosers.
Exactly. And so that's everything for E3 2016 this year.
That
It's our
is,
first year doing E3. It's kind of exhausting.
it's a full day's work. I'm fine with that. And other than the Nintendo and Twitch stuff on Tuesday and Wednesday, it's basically everything good out of the way. Everything
Yeah,
big.
and if any news comes out of that Nintendo thing, it'll probably end up being on Friday's show because this is going to go up as
Tuesday show.
the Tuesday show. Well, technically, doesn't the audio go up on Wednesday?
Yes.
So, we'll put it up on Tuesday anyway because the quicker you get this out, the better because it's for E3. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, so this has been the 2016 E3 press conference type stuff for
Press?
Complete with DLC.
Press conference type stuff. Best sign off I've ever seen.
Yes. This has been Complete with DLC. I'm Jacob Griffin,
I'm Brad Knight.
and thank you for listening/watching.